I am here with you guys again for another video, and this time we are going to be doing a review of the new 2024 documentary film Out of Plain Sight. This film was directed by a director, and it follows a former CIA officer known as Jack Smith. He was actually in charge of training the dogs that were used during the raid of Osama bin Laden's compound in Abbottabad, Pakistan in 2011. The film will also feature an interview with the SEAL Team 6 member who actually shot Osama bin Laden. So if you guys are interested in national security, counterterrorism, the war on terror, or just want to hear the story about how Osama bin Laden was killed, then stick around because this video contains some spoilers. So this is the official trailer from the film. Eilines let it play so you guys can see what this movie is all about, and Eilines be back after the trailer to tell you where you can watch it. So, as you just saw, the film is called Out of Plain Sight, the story of the dogs of Abbottabad. It tells the story about the dogs that were involved in the Abbottabad raid. But the film also covers Jack Smith's career as a whole in the CIA, including his time in Afghanistan after 9/11. Jack Smith helped to train dogs to detect things such as explosives, narcotics, and bedbugs. But he was told by the CIA to keep the dogs on a very, very short leash. He wasn't allowed to do anything that would draw attention to himself or the dogs because these dogs were one of America's most covert operations at the time. They did not want any pictures of these dogs to get out. If word got out that the CIA was using dogs to sniff out terrorists, then other terrorist groups would find a way to counteract it, possibly injuring or killing the dogs. The film mentions how the CIA has a long history of using animals in espionage, especially dogs. Jack Smith began training dogs in 1998 before the 9/11 attacks, and he was able to use his experience from that to help track down Osama bin Laden. After 9/11, the United States went into Afghanistan, and many people believed that Osama bin Laden was hiding somewhere in the caves and mountains of Afghanistan. The film says that there was a unit of 2,000 soldiers looking for just a few Al-Qaeda members, but they had no luck. Their only lead was that there were dogs sniffing around the area, which led them to believe that there may have been some type of underground bunker system that Al-Qaeda was using. So the United States wanted to use their own dogs to help sniff out Al-Qaeda. After months of searching, they still could not find Osama bin Laden, but they did find a lead that he might be living in Pakistan. This is when Jack Smith and his team of dogs flew to Pakistan to see if they could find Osama bin Laden. Once in Pakistan, Smith and his team searched multiple different compounds, but they came up empty. However, they received intelligence that there was a compound in Abbottabad that looked suspicious. The walls were too high. There were too many security measures for someone of that status. There was also a large amount of explosives that were found on the property. When the United States government found out about this compound, they sent in more SEALs to investigate. These SEALs were part of the elite counterterrorism unit known as SEAL Team 6. On May 2, 2011, the SEALs returned to the Abbottabad compound for a second time. And that night at 1:30 a.m., they conducted a raid on the compound. During the raid, the SEALs found and killed Osama bin Laden. In the documentary, the man who actually shot Osama bin Laden gives his account of what happened. He said that when they found Osama bin Laden, he had a weapon in his hand and he opened fire on the SEALs. A firefight ensued between Osama bin Laden and the SEALs, but eventually Osama bin Laden was killed. The man said that when they first got inside of the house, they were yelling Osama bin Laden, get on the ground, but they never got a response. The only response that they received was gunfire. He said that when Osama bin Laden was killed, he turned to his right and he saw his wife. She was holding one of their children, and she asked the SEAL who killed her husband, "Why did you kill him?" "He is a good man." The SEAL responded by saying, "Your husband is a bad guy." She then replied, "No, he is a good man." The SEAL who shot Osama bin Laden said that he didn't feel remorse for killing bin Laden, but he did feel bad for the women and children who lost their husband and father. When the news broke that morning that Osama bin Laden had been killed, President Obama gave a speech to the nation to inform the American people. He said that justice has been done and that this day will be remembered as a defining moment in the history of the global war on terror. Jack Smith said in the film that the dogs did more work than they get credit for. He said that the Abbottabad raid was probably the most famous mission that they ever did, but there were other raids and other instances where the dogs did just as much work. The dogs that were used in the raid are now retired and living normal lives. One of the dogs passed away in 2015 due to cancer, but there are still some of them alive today. The man who shot Osama bin Laden said that he believes that Americans should know the truth about what really happened in Abbottabad. He said that there are still many people who don't believe that Osama bin Laden was actually killed, and this documentary gives insight to those people and shows them exactly what happened. He said that he doesn't think that he or any of the other SEALs involved in the raid deserve any credit for killing bin Laden. He said that the majority of the work was done by the CIA and Jack Smith deserves most of the credit for killing Osama bin Laden. He said that without Jack Smith and his team of dogs, the United States would have never been able to kill Osama bin Laden. This is a picture of Jack Smith and one of his dogs. And this is a picture of the dog that passed away in 2015. The film goes into great detail explaining the training that these dogs had to go through and how difficult it was to keep these dogs hidden while also finding Osama bin Laden. Now, if you guys want to watch this film, it is currently only available on a streaming platform. I'll leave the link in the description box below if you guys want to watch it. But that is gonna do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you go check out this documentary. It has a really interesting look into the life of someone like Jack Smith, who dedicated his life to tracking down terrorists and saving American lives. It has also a really interesting look into the life of the dogs that were used during the Abbottabad raid. Like I said, these dogs played a big role in helping find Osama bin Laden, and I think that the general public doesn't really know about that. So I highly recommend checking out the documentary. That is going to be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe so you guys never miss another video. Also, make sure to like this video and hit the notification bell so you guys get notified every time a new video comes out. If you do decide to watch the film, I highly recommend watching it on a streaming platform. They have a free trial so you can watch this film and another one for free, and I'll see you guys in the next video.